They would never dare let me be a Booker Prize judge. I would ruin their whole system. But it would be so much fun. Just let me have the reins for one day. Let's see what kind of chaos I can cause. Hi, hello, welcome to Chaos Central Books. My name is Claire, and today I'm reacting to the Booker Prize 2025 shortlist. As I'm filming this, it's being announced right now. I have my laptop here, and I'm literally just going to be doing a live reaction. As of right now, there's a whole lot of talking going on before they do the whole. It's like a whole event they're doing. I really only care about the announcement of the books, whatever shortlist ends up being, but this is humanizing the judges for me. The chair, whose name I already forgot, I find him funny. People were mad about Sarah Jessica Parker being on the committee, but I don't know. I think she's a fun addition. And of course, the other authors make me feel so stupid. So I think it's a well rounded group of judges. The crop of books they've selected leaves me doubting, but again, that's probably a me problem. We're talking a lot about spreadsheets right now. Being a Booker Prize judge is probably just like the biggest honor, at least for me in my mind. I'm like, that's not a goal. I'm never gonna get like, I'm not an author. Whatever nonsense I bring to the internet is not whatever will allow somebody to be a Booker Prize judge. But I'm like, that's the dream, to just sit around and read 30 books a month. I cannot stress how bad at that I would be, but in theory, it sounds so much fun. I would love to do that. Alfred Enoch is reading excerpts along with somebody else who is affiliated with a franchise I will not name, but he's wearing a watermelon shirt, which I can only assume is a symbol of Free Palestine. So good for him for that. His voice is really throwing me off. Like, I understand he's British, but I watched a lot of How to Get Away with Murder. Not all of it, because I'm famously bad at finishing any and all series. But he had an American accent that was like pretty convincing for the most of that show. But he's like sounding so British right here. I don't know if this is his just like performer voice. Apparently he's doing a Shakespeare production later. I don't know. But I'm thrown off by his voice. It's jarring. Sometimes I forget that Sarah Jessica Parker is married to Matthew Broderick. Like, that doesn't compute in my mind that Carrie Bradshaw and Ferris Bueller are a couple. That does not track at all. But whenever she invokes her husband, she just talking about her husband. I'm like, Ferris Bueller? You mean Ferris Bueller? Has he done anything else like culturally relevant? To me, that's all that matters. I am learning to really like Roddy Doyle. He's a very funny, charming old man, and their conversation about font sizes in books is so important to me. I read Erasure by Percival Everett earlier this year, and it was the most like non-user-friendly experience I've ever had. Why was the font in that book so tiny? It was so rude to me personally. I already have bad eyesight. Like, my eyes are really bad. We can't keep doing this to readers. I just want to read a book, and you're making me pay for it. Literally, my prescription cannot get more expensive. We can't keep doing this to me. Flashlight is the first book on the shortlist. How We Feel in Party People. I'm maybe 20 to 30 pages into this one. I will continue reading it. Now I have more motivation to do so. But interesting, I fear. Interesting. Two big books back to back. The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny is the second one. I gotta finish both of those now, god dang it. Anyway. And Audition. I know a lot of people were expecting this one. I gotta be so honest, I'm so shocked that people feel any certain way about this book. It made me feel nothing. Maybe I should read it again. I don't think I'd get anything different out of it. I will just accept that I'm the problem, and people who love it are entitled to that opinion, and people who hate it are entitled to that opinion, but I hold space for the people like me who felt nothing about that book. The Rest of Our Lives by Ben Markovitz. I've heard no good things about this. I was, shockingly, just approved for a digital arc on NetGalley by the publisher because it's not published in the US until January, February, something crazy like that. I haven't heard anybody like this book. Which of you judges is pulling for it? That's crazy. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. The Land in Winter by Andrew Miller. Isn't this another one that people like don't care about? I definitely can't get my hands on that one. That's not published in the US until November. So, lost cause. Who cares? That sounds mean. I didn't mean it. I'm about to flip my laptop. Flash. 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 I guess I can understand why some people may like that book, but that book could not be less in my territory. Flash? Flash? Okay, Justice for Universality. It was the only book of the short list or of the long list that I read and liked, even though I don't think it's a Booker Prize book, which is complicated. I read Assembly by Natasha Brown before I read Universality. I read them both this year because I got the arc of Universality, and I said, well, I should probably. I like to be a completionist in that sense. So I read Assembly, and it was complicated for me to read. She was doing a lot in that book. I think of feedback I got on one of my assignments. I turned in a paper to my professor, and his feedback was, I see you're struggling to understand the law. Not always successfully, but I like to see the struggle. And I think of that sometimes when I'm reading a book. I see that she was attempting to do something innovative and creative. Not always successfully, not to me at least, but I appreciated the struggle that I saw, because at least she was like trying to be creative and innovative. Did that work for me? No, but I appreciated it. But with Universality, there was nothing overly complicated about it, so it was easier for me to digest and appreciate. But I thought it was just kind of like a straightforward, enjoyable read. Nothing about it stuck out to me one way or the other. So I would understand an Assembly nomination because maybe my pea brain was just too small to comprehend whatever was going on. And maybe my pea brain is still too small to comprehend the genius of Universality for its nomination. But yeah, shocked. Shocked either way. I'm actually incredibly shocked by the shortlist, actually. As somebody who's only read, did I read 3? 4 of the books. What did I read? Flesh, Audition, Universality, and half of Misinterpretation. Everybody was loving Endling, and no Endling love from the judges. That's so crazy to me. This is a really, really fascinating Booker long list, short list experience. I'm shocked. I'm going to keep saying the word shocked. It's, as somebody who didn't really have strong feelings going into this, I'm mostly just confused. I want these judges to claim the books they're pulling for. I know Sarah Jessica Parker's imprint was behind the first book that Claire Adam wrote, but I assumed that she was pulling for love forms. But I guess that didn't mean much. I don't know. So interesting. So interesting. The Rest of Our Lives is a crazy pull. A crazy pull. As somebody who has not read it, I will read it now because I have to, but The Rest of Our Lives over Endling? I know a lot of people really love Sea Scraper too. I was trying to get my hands on that and couldn't. I'm really baffled, guys. If you have thoughts on this, please leave a comment because I really want to know what other like Booker heads have to say about this. And I'm sure people will also make videos, but this is like a really interesting shortlist to me. Is Audition gonna win? I really don't want it to. I'm sorry. Is that controversial to say? Okay, of the shortlist, what would I be happy with a win? The only one I've read is Audition. No, I've read Flesh. Trying to block that out of my mind. I don't want Flesh to win, and I don't want Audition to win. And I don't want The Rest of Our Lives to win out of principle. So I guess The Land in Winter, Flashlight, or The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny. If I ever finish Flashlight or The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny, I guess I'll have to root for one of those. But I'm not going to get over The Rest of Our Lives. Like, that's crazy to me. Crazy. Okay, so those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts on the Booker shortlist. I hope you enjoyed this brief, tiny reaction, and I will see you next time.